I've been doing this almost 5 years, and I'm just starting to feel a little bit ridiculous. What's up, Bottom Nation? If you're listening at home, Alex got the studio a really great pair of tits pillow. And it's a pillow, but it's a pair of tits, and it's great. And you should come over to the YouTube just to check them out. It's good. I'm really questioning my whole life right now. I really am. I mean, I question it a lot, but this is, we're having too much fun, I think. Wow, and this episode was really, really fun. This was a great episode. So Maddie has been saying, you got to have my best friend Lizzy on. And I was like, okay, let's have Lizzy on. And I didn't know someone could riff as well as Maddie. And it was like watching like magic, sparks. It was such a good episode. Lizzy talks about the time that she got an ick on a date with a non-binary person. And it's a very funny ick. It's so good. Really, really great episode. Thank you guys for being here. Patreon.com/WHGS to support this pod. We have like a full 40 minutes of bonus with Lizzy and then a bonus episode. It's a lot of bonus content. So if you're enjoying it, head on over. And then the tour dates, I mean, there's so many. There's the Western Canada tour, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Raleigh, Dallas, Denver, Portland, Oregon, Philadelphia. I mean, the list is crazy. We'll put it up on the screen. But go ahead and check out ashleygavin.com to get your tickets. All right, cool. Listener, you might notice there's no ads on this episode. That means that this episode was 100% sponsored by gay people like you. Listener, go to patreon.com/WHGS. You can get up to 4 bonus episodes a month, and that includes our full backlog, plus the live stream of my comedy show, plus a ton of other bonus content. It's the best way to keep this podcast going, and if you donate $1 today, that would have been more helpful for us than listening to the ads. So consider donating $1. And if you're on the fence, here's a little taste of what you'll see on the Patreon.
We ended up at her apartment. Gay sex ensued. About 30 minutes in, there's blood all over us. She had her period, so we thought maybe something leaked. No, it was coming from my cooter. A few days later, my kidney hurts, so I go to my urologist thinking it's a UTI. Come to find out, I have approximately 13 kidney stones that are some of the biggest my doctor has ever seen.
Oh my God. 13 are some of the biggest? You have a kidney quarry. That's not just a stone.
There are apparently different kinds.
I'll show you what mine
There's
looks
this one
like.
that looks like a fun, like,
wait, they're
geode.
kind of beautiful.
And then this one, yeah.
Mine was the
I'm pretty
right
sure
one.
I hooked up with a girl in Brooklyn that had these on her nightstand. One more time, that's patreon.com/WHGS.
So I met somebody on a dating app. This was a non-binary person.
Oh.
And me, who is something. Definitely a girl, but probably not straight. And so it was like queer, but not lesbian, because we did break up. And I'll tell you what, if you think lesbians move fast, fucking sober drug addicts are like, we're like drinking each other's blood and like coming in the open wound on like the second date, because we're like insane people and love feels good and sex feels
it's a
good.
drug. It's a drug.
Like, you could be pills.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys are both sober, but you're different kinds of sober.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
Like, you might be 50-year-old sober, you might be 5-year-old sober. Yours might actually make you younger. You know what I mean?
Are you never touched
touched
this
it
stuff?
because it runs in my family.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it runs in my family too, but boy, did I touch this stuff. It runs in my family, but we don't really talk about it.
What's funny is I used to say, this is a dark way to open the show, by the way, but I used to say, you know, my father was sober growing up. I never saw him as an alcoholic, but I knew my brothers as alcoholics and drug addicts. But like, it wasn't that bad. And then I remembered the period of time that my brother Justin moved back in with my family and slept in the basement.
Yeah, my brother slept in the basement.
Right, because he had radically destroyed his life. And then after my father died, like my brother like trying to call me was when he was on drugs and like talk to me like hi.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe it did have like a bigger impact, even though I was quite shielded in the sense that I never got physically hurt or saw anything sort of emotionally abusive or heard anything verbally abusive. Like, man, I mean, that alone, I think that was enough that I was like, I will never do this.
Yeah, I think like I'm from a family of addicts and alcoholics, but like they are what people in sobriety would call high bottom drunks because like their rock bottom wouldn't be like losing everything because they have like a net of privilege underneath them.
Yes.
So it doesn't look the same. It doesn't look like
weirdly,
I
think the deeper your rock bottom, the faster you can kind of get out of there.
Yeah.
If you're hovering at like a high level, like it is tough.
You can
drink
Bert
forever.
Kreischer. Yes. You can be rich and drunk forever.
You can be an alcoholic if you're rich enough.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
Listener, Bert Kreischer is a comedian.
A no touch stone top and actually he's a no touch no top stone top.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Wait, is there any lore to him being a no-touch top?
No,
just like the way he looks and
idea
seems.
that he would be like
This is a fun
a butch
conversation.
lesbian with top surgery that like takes off her shirt on stage.
And is an alcoholic.
Yeah.
All of that and is an alcoholic.
Wait,
also.
very fun concept. Who else should we? John Mulaney. Where do we think he is on the top bottom?
I think John Mulaney is like a bossy bottom.
Yeah, I was just about to say
I was
power
gonna say,
bottom.
power bottom, for
like
sure.
kind of like a bratty bottom.
Yeah, definitely. They know who John Mulaney is.
Yeah.
But I would like to introduce a new member of the We're Having Gay Sex family, the Tit Pillow.
Love that.
The Tits Pillow.
Yeah, it's like a divining rod looking for water. It's really out to the sides.
That's definitely great for the listener at home who can't see it. Yeah, they are akimbo for sure.
Yeah.
What is that?
Alex brought do wield. Yeah. But Alex got this at his family white elephant. Is there anything you'd like to
Thanks,
say?
Mom.
Whoa, what?
Thanks,
Wow.
Mom.
That's
all I
awesome.
got.
Was your
that
family
cool?
like, this is for your gay sex podcast?
No, I decided.
I don't know if they're like,
does
you know
your-
what I mean? Like some people's families are like, we love your gay podcast or whatever.
What does your family say about the podcast,
I
Alex?
think it's it's cool.
All
I
right.
don't know. They're all open-minded people. None of
That's
them are
good.
that weird about it.
That's good. Were you ever did you ever have a hard time telling people?
I have a hard time telling everybody that I work for the We're Having Gay Sex podcast.
Dude, I have a hard time with it too. There was a I was on the road and I was getting
feels
a coffee.
like a roast. I didn't
Just
didn't
wandered
know it was
into.
coming. Yeah, wow. No. Talk about why it's so hard to tell people that you work here.
There was a barista with a mullet who was like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And I was like, "The Gay Sex Podcast." She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah." I've gotten recognized like 3 times, and it's only been baristas.
Yeah.
That's exclusively. Wait, also in Madison, they do the thing where they name a drink after, like they do
Yes.
3 drink specials and they
Yes.
name them after something after the comic. And I forgot that they did that, and so I looked up on the projector and there was a drink and it just said "gay sex"
Yeah.
really big in front of everyone.
They did it for
I was
me.
like, that's
gay
awesome.
sex on the beach.
That's
Yes.
so funny.
What we often
Yeah.
get. Gay
Yeah, but
sex on the beach.
it's to bring
Sorry
up the
about
name is
that.
no, it rocks. It's funny.
And
That's better than mine. I tell people that I work for the We're Having Gay Sex, and they're like, "Huh." And they're like, "He's probably homeless." that can't be a job.
It's like an AI generated liberal job.
Yeah.
Audio engineer for gay podcast.
So yeah.
I'm surprised we were never
like
Fox
trans-
News headline. I
Yeah.
was really hoping we would get there.
That
but-
is what they think we're up to.
and yeah, and it is what I'm up
Podcasting
to.
and having gay sex at the same time.
Well, thank you for being here, Lizzy Cassidy.
Thanks for having
You
me.
have 2 podcasts.
I do. I have a podcast called Respectfully, which is just like a shit talking, dating, sex kind of podcast. And then I have a podcast called Close Calls, which is a comedy podcast about near-death experiences.
which I think is such a great concept, by the way.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks.
a really
They're both amazing.
yeah. When you hear a podcast idea where you're like, oh, good,
Yeah.
not this one, this one was a cry for help, certainly. And then, as always, most of the time, Maddie Wiener.
Hello. It's been a minute.
My little gay virgin is back.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. Well, yeah. What was I gonna say? I got back from Thailand.
Yeah, how was
That's kind of
Thailand?
my
Oh my
update.
God.
Oh, I'm
Awesome.
so sad that I'm back. It was the best place I've ever been, to the point where we were having so much fun. It just feels like a dream. Like it went by so fast. We usually journal everywhere we go. We did not journal once because we were just having the best time.
That's awesome.
And
That's how you know too that shit is like, I'm grateful, but then when it's actually good, you're like, well, I don't need that.
yeah.
Yeah,
not
you
sad.
don't need to do like gratitude affirmations when you're actually having fun.
It's not even. Someone has a great joke about that. I think it is like rock bottom. You don't find God or power in the universe or spirituality till you're at rock bottom.
Totally.
Really, that's where you find gratitude.
Oh yeah.
But we went to Chiang Mai. We went to this jazz club in this amazing city, and we met fans of the podcast.
Shut up.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
It like really touched me. So thank you for saying hello.
Oh, that's
And then
so
there was
cool.
another person a fan from Vietnam who was like, okay, this is going to sound crazy, but were you in Chiang Mai at a jazz club? And I was like, yes. She was like, oh, I just didn't think it was really you, so I didn't say hi. But I would have loved to have had.
Oh my God,
met-
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was super. It was like a really, so thank you for, thank you everyone from all around the world, like who listen. Like, yeah, we have quite an international footprint.
Yeah,
which
I
is
feel like if
nice.
that happened to me, I'd start like crying and throwing up in front of them, and they'd be like,
You
"This wasn't.
You can't like let it.
This wasn't what I wanted out of this." I'd be like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah, and it was like a really nice thing because I wouldn't say we all became like friends or anything, but like we went together and we sat together,
Yeah.
and they were so sweet. When I wanted to kind of do my thing with my girlfriend, they were like, "Yeah, we probably should let the woman on vacation like hang out
That's
with her."
very cool.
You know
That's
what I
weird
mean?
when people
Cool.
are like in touch, like not that I've ever experienced, but you see it with celebrities where people are like, they didn't say hi to their fans, and you're like, yeah, they're at the grocery store.
Or like they did say hi, but they didn't like give you their phone number. Yeah, and people are mad. It's like,
So
well, yeah,
it was a very nice balance because I do like that. I
Yeah.
like being said hi to, but also, when we're done, let's be done.
yeah. You know me a lot better than I know you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
that
So
was
they were
awesome,
so
but,
cool,
you know,
and they were a lovely little group of friends. It was so nice.
that's so
It
cool.
was really, really great.
That's so awesome.
And Jen and I had some really, not much, but really phenomenal sex when we had it. Here's more of a general question: sex on vacation.
Yeah, I just went on vacation with my boyfriend, and I feel like there's a lot of like pressure
The pressure.
to have
Thank you.
sex on vacation, and it was our
I
anniversary.
am surprised that we are already aligned on two
Yes.
things: this, and then bullying Maddie
Bullying
out
Maddie
of their
about
gay
having
virginity,
sex.
which
Yeah.
is so important to me. And no one really has come on the podcast and taken my side about it.
Oh, great! I'm on your side.
So it's really great that we can.
I'm just realizing the types of relationships I've been in. I've never been on vacation. I was like, we were snowed in one time. And we fucked.
yeah,
Like COVID, I fucked a lot.
yeah.
COVID was fuck city.
COVID
But I've
was,
only had
I mean,
vacations. I've never had out. It's always been like we
to
got
be
pushed
fair,
more inside.
To be fair, me and my boyfriend were at a hotel in New York City, like
You gotta
4
fuck.
blocks from my apartment.
Oh, during COVID or
no,
for
like
vacation?
that's where we went on vacation because we're like not fully broke, but a little bit. You know,
That's so nice.
like we can't get a plane
though.
ticket and a hotel. We
Yeah.
got a hotel.
What hotel did you stay at?
The box house. Hey, fun. Had straight sex at a hotel called the Box House. Sorry.
There's one box.
There's one-
usually
There's one
in straight sex.
Yeah. But didn't
one
have a
come for
ton
me.
of sex because there is vacation sex pressure. But we like the first night we like went out and had a huge meal.
Right.
So what are we gonna have sex now?
So this is exactly.
We like actually love each other. We don't need to have sex.
right. Exactly.
We can like fart and watch Grey's Anatomy.
You're eating. Yeah, exactly. You're eating an enormous amount of food that you've never had before.
Yes.
Very special. So you're like, I have to eat this.
You're also like hiking and
You're
stuff.
hiking. Right. Exactly. We've hiked all day. You
Yeah.
know, and we're sweaty, and it's like we get home and like I kind of just want to sit by the pool or something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's like what the sex part of it, but there was one that was like so really, really good. It's so nice to be in a relationship for a while, and then you go
Yeah.
through waves and you get it back.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, there it is.
Yeah.
Is there almost a thing of like, there's like that old like Stanhope joke of like, you go abroad and you see another American person and you start talking like your best friends, but then you realize if you were in the States, you would have nothing in common.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Is there something about like you're overseas and then you see your partner and then you're like, whoa, we really do
Oh,
have so much in common. Like
yeah.
you're like, there's like this like new context of like,
So I read something about feeling attracted to your partner, seeing them in new contexts can
Yeah.
reignite that
That makes
flame.
so much sense.
So it does make sense
Totally.
that I've always wondered that like on vacation thing because previously I was in some I was in some bad relationships.
Yeah, same.
And when I would go on vacation, we would fight.
Same.
So it's like I never really understood.
It's so funny to be like, can I talk to you in the kitchen? Actually, can I talk to you in Thailand?
But like maybe I'll just talk about this sex, but like I think it was on the day. I think we both think this was like the best day of our life.
Oh my God.
Should I tell you guys like about the best day of my
Well,
life?
I thought you had the best day of
Yeah.
your life, and now I'm fucking mad at you because you misled us all with a grid post, but we can talk about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Actually, I almost texted you, holy shit, congratulations.
I may have posted a picture of me fake proposing to my
Awesome.
girlfriend.
And then
in
you
order-
hilarious. It's tour dates.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So, and can I just say, I've never gotten that much engagement, no pun intended, on a post.
yeah.
It did really well. It sold a lot of tickets, and I have no regrets.
I think that's awesome. I did see a version of that I thought was insane once, and I'll talk a little shit here. I won't say who it was, but someone I know.
It was me. You're like, I'm gonna,
I forget who it was, and it's a story about you. No,
it was this
Wow,
weird
nightmare.
It was this weird lesbian. She
No.
wears her hat backwards all the time.
I saw someone I know who was running a bar show with her boyfriend. As an announcement post for the bar show, posted a sonogram picture, but like didn't make the bit clear in the post.
Oh.
So then like her boyfriend's family was like calling him crying, like, we're so happy, we're finally having, and then they had to make like a public announcement that there was never any baby.
I will say my next one will be a baby.
But for
next fake
a
post.
tour,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
is okay. For a bar show is a little crazy.
Well, a bar show is
A bar show
I
is
don't
a
know if the
little
listeners at home
crazy.
are in this comedy
To
enough.
sell
but
15 tickets to a bar show? That's a little crazy.
Kind of the opposite of a baby.
Yeah.
Like a thing that's going to have a future. You're like,
A
this
bar
doesn't even have
show-
a present, really.
a bar show is an abortion.
Yes. Yeah. I would rather
we gotta
get
stop doing that.
I would rather get an
It's
abortion.
fine if you have to do it.
It's
but
very helpful early on in your life, but I don't love it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
no one would call a pleasant experience.
I would no bit rather get an abortion than do a bad bar show. But that's because I'm a drug addict and I think they'd give me a sedative. But I would rather get an abortion.
Anyway, so we went to an island called Koh Lanta. All of these are going to be horrible pronunciations, and I apologize to the Thai community. Also, Thailand, very gay friendly,
Oh, sick. I feel like
very
I thought
trans
that.
friendly,
Yeah.
super gay friendly.
There's
Let's
a lot
go.
of trans people there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for
it's
them.
so nice.
Love that.
I don't know how they would speak about their own experiences at home,
Yeah.
but it was just very comfortable to be gay there.
That's awesome.
When Jen and I did the last couple days in Cambodia, we did not feel as comfortable.
Mm.
So just putting that out there if you're looking for a place, Thailand. So we went to this island and we picked it because it was like chill, pretty beaches. That was like our chill, pretty beaches part.
Right.
Not a lot of tourism. Well, it's tons of tourism, but like relative to other places.
yeah.
And we got there. We rented motorbikes.
Fun.
Yeah. So,
Let's go.
That's really fun.
I had never seen Jen ride a motorcycle.
hot.
Oh, that's
and
hot.
She like knew how to do it.
Damn, that could really go one of two ways for me. Like watching my boyfriend ride a motorcycle, if he like nailed it immediately, I'd be like, yeah, I'll suck your dick clean off. But then if he was like wiggling around trying to figure it out, I'd be like, don't fucking stop doing that in front of me.
Well, to be fair, it was also they're technically scooters,
Yeah. Okay.
but they're on the bikier side of scooter.
yeah, yeah.
And we were gonna do one. So we got the one and she hopped on and I got on behind her.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And we went about 2 feet
I would
before
think that-
we tipped over.
You behind Jen is so funny to me.
Jen knows more about that stuff than I do.
Wow.
I'm scared of motorcycles. You know?
You're-
I'm like a safety baby.
Oh,
I don't want to hurt myself.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we ended up getting 2. And I learned how to do it and we rode along the coastline up to this mountain where we hiked.
Damn, that's so cool.
And when we got to the bottom, it led to a beach where nobody fucking was. So we played bananagrams
Oh my God, on the beach?
on the beach, and then we swam.
That's what they should have called my drink at the club. Bananagrams on the beach. That's my fucking vibe.
And that's what, yeah.
That's awesome.
We're big bananagrammers. We bring bananagrams everywhere we go. You guys bananagram?
Well, Maddie does.
Why are we not gramming?
We should be grabbing.
Every time I've gone to your house, I feel like you've been like, we have bananagrams. And I'm like, I don't read.
Nobody
Maddie, you and
bites.
I are
can't read.
aligned
but
in a way that I had no idea we could be. I would love to play bananagrams with you.
I would love to,
want to
too.
watch Jen play you in bananagrams because Jen's really good.
Wow. Okay. I don't even know if I'm that great at it. I just
Do you have
like
a strategy?
I know there's a word. AI is a type of like monkey. I use that a lot. If you got some extras, but I don't really have a strategy.
I might be able to beat you, which is
I'm sure you could.
really shocking to me.
Because no one ever fucking plays with me, so I don't have a lot of practice.
I have bananagrams in the other. We could play bananagrams.
We really should.
We could.
No, I threw a party and I was like, does anyone want to play board games? And they were like, no, we're going to do cocaine in your bathroom. I was like, well, I'm going to be out here waiting for someone
crazy,
to
by
play
the
board
way.
games with me. It was a little wild.
that was crazy, by the way.
I was like, okay, cool. That's all right.
Someone walked into us actively playing a board game and was like, do you guys want cocaine? And we were like, you don't know where you are.
Yeah, I was about
like,
to say, who got invited? You obviously you can't say, but like, who got invited to the party? That cocaine guy at your party?
he was a cool guy.
He was a very nice guy.
It was just very funny because
and he was offering it to everyone, which is a nice move. But it was just so not the vibe of, I mean, we were drinking like literal soft apple cider and playing a board game.
Yeah.
And
That's
he's like,
that's
you guys
my
want
thing.
Coke? And we were like, do you know where the fuck you are right now?
Yeah.
This is like pizza and soda party.
And my first thought, I was like, just please wash your hands because I don't want the rabbits to eat any of it. That was like my real fear. I was like, they're going to lick it up and they're going to fucking die.
Yeah.
Lick up the cocaine. Well, anyway.
But so, I'm sorry. We
no,
fully.
No. And we got like a good dinner. All the food was fucking fantastic. And then we got a flyer on our table that was like, come to the fire show. And we were like, oh, like this is going to suck. Right?
Yeah.
Like someone comes into the restaurant handing the thing.
That's the kind of thing that I'd be like, this might be the worst version of a fire show, but I'll love that.
Well, so
like I love going to see magic because I'm like, if they're good at it, I'm going to think it's actually magic. And if they're bad at it, I'm going to have the best night of my life.
right. So Jen and I were like we like yes and anything on really in life. We'll go see a shitty thing and have fun doing it together. So we're like, let's go. And when we got there, it was actually this really nice beachfront bar, and this guy was singing American, and he was singing English music, like American hits, and he had a thick Asian accent, and
Awesome.
I loved that.
I love that.
I loved that.
Yeah, I
love that.
because I loved his commit. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm trying to be like, this guy committed to singing in a language that's not his first language.
Yeah.
And that's why I loved it, because he didn't half-ass it. He was fully like multiple words wrong. I loved
so
it.
cute.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I loved that. And also I've got to support a local artist.
I'm also like, I would never attempt to do stand up in Thailand. I would never even you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, that guy's fucking brave,
Yes,
dude. That
he's
guy's a
brave.
performer in a way that I never will be.
Yes. He loves his art enough to just kind of be bad at it.
Yes. And I
but
don't.
still do it. Not actually be bad, but you guys get what I'm saying. And the fire show started, and the fire show was fucking awesome.
Oh, that's so
the guys
cool.
were dancing with fucking fire,
Damn.
and they were doing crazy things. Jen has some cool videos, and
Do they eat it?
they were eating it.
I love when they eat it.
They
Whoa.
eat it. They make like sparks go off that
Yeah.
they dance through, and all kinds of. They were bringing up volunteers and getting the fire near their faces.
Love that.
Wow.
People were in danger.
Yeah.
There were children in it.
I would
Totally
also
not
have good
cool,
sex
but I
after that.
enjoyed it. What am I gonna? Yeah.
Everything that you did like 3 dangerous things in a day. I'd totally be like, we have to fuck, dude. Love that.
And we didn't have sex until the next morning because it's too much at night.
Tired. Yeah.
And the morning sex was I think one of my favorite types of sex, and I think Jen's favorite type of sex, where she lets me get so turned on from doing her that I take like 3 seconds to come.
Yeah, I love that.
That's so cute.
That's great.
Yeah. maybe a minute.
That's
Maybe.
like a great situation, and I don't know if this is the case for you, but like when somebody is more into giving and somebody's more into receiving, like I'm kind of selfish. I'm like not super, it's not my favorite part to like blow a guy, but I'll do it, you know? But I'm like, if your favorite part is doing me and then you get all fucking turned on and then I can blow you for 2 minutes, how fun is that? You know? Instead of like 20?
Yeah, it does feel distinctly male to come at it from a gender perspective.
Well, and it's cute to see a guy or even a more masculine person be like, oh, I can't help it. Like giggly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You got me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I got
Yeah.
you, bitch. That's awesome.
big time. Like,
Yeah.
and I think she, as a more
It's
feminine
hot
person,
too. It's hot when someone is so turned on by you that they come in 2 minutes. That
Yeah,
is
it
hot.
is kind of hot.
That-
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
always been against the like thing of women being like, he only lasted 2 minutes. I'm like, that's awesome.
No,
dude.
it turns me on for
oh,
sure.
he loves
yeah.
me.
But it's
That's
also,
so
like, it's
cool.
So it's cute.
shouldn't the part that lasts long? Now, this is, you guys are, this is your territory, but shouldn't the part that lasts long be the foreplay?
Yeah, I mean that's like the great
Ideally.
myth of straight sex. That like people act like the part that lasts long should be the like penetrative, capital SEXTM part, but it's not. It's usually not.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
if it's good, it's usually not.
I don't know that I would want to. I have only had a strap on in me like once. I haven't had a lot of things in there,
Mhm.
but if they're big, I find that I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I've had enough of this. Like this.
Yeah. I mean, I've had sex for like penetrated like 30, 40 minutes, and you're like, all right, we can
30, 40
wrap it
minutes
up.
is
It's
so long.
Yeah.
Isn't he tired?
I love to have
Yeah,
he's gassed, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of times I've seen a guy over me with like his arms shaking and I'm like, we can like fucking chill.
Or I've been like, I gotta keep like Gatorade around.
Yeah. I think
Like-
the perfect amount of time for penetrative sex, if you've done enough foreplay, is 7 minutes.
I mean,
7
yeah,
minutes is great.
Even that, I'm like, that feels long.
Yeah.
I don't
I
want
don't
to
know,
like.
I kind of like
7 minutes
a
feels like
lot
20
of-
minutes in sex. I feel like.
You want it longer?
I'll take 20 minutes of like fucking.
I think if you actually put a clock on, you'd be surprised how much 7 minutes feels like 20 minutes. Because not like it sucks or anything, but like so much is just happening in your brain the
Yeah,
whole
Maddie,
time.
Yeah, that maybe there's like
That,
a
like-
time dilation
Yes,
kind of thing.
like
Yeah,
every
yeah.
second you have like 7 thoughts. So it feels like a minute has passed.
I have
That's a
it
good
both
point.
ways. Sometimes I'll think like,
yeah.
like with my sex with my lesbian sex, my only sex, the sex that I have. I feel like sometimes you're like, how long did that take? What time is it? That's probably
Yeah.
like 20 minutes. And you look at the clock and like, you're like, oh, that was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, like the sense of time.
It's
Really?
like totally warped. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a full-time warp. But I will say it was also fun because it was like a slightly new position for us. I'm really throwing you in.
That's okay. This is like how
Are
I
you
talk all the time.
bisexual or?
Yeah, I guess something like that.
You have the best joke about it of all time.
Can
Not to
we
make you
hear-
do
Oh,
a
which
bit.
one?
Can I say your bit?
Yeah,
a
you
bit.
can. What's
The Michael Jordan.
a
Oh,
bit.
I say on stage I'm gay the way Michael Jordan played baseball. Like I'm fine at it, but it's not what I'm known for.
It's so perfect.
It's funny even before the punchline.
Thank you. That was something I just said to my boyfriend on our second date. And like I was just explaining who I was to him and I accidentally said it that way. And then I had to take out my phone and write it down in front of him.
And you're like, oh, this
And
is
be
another
like,
thing about me. This is gonna happen.
I know it's fine that I'm bisexual, but it's probably not fine that I'm like this.
Well, also,
Now I have to write down the thing I thought, and he didn't even laugh that hard, but I was like, no, that'll play. I have to get that down.
I also love that you used a sports analogy for your bisexuality, which
Yeah.
feels distinctly straight.
Yes.
You know,
It's very
like,
guys girl of me
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
it's
like,
very-
yeah, I get sports. It's also like one of the most famous athletes. You don't have to like know about that much about sports to know who Michael Jordan is.
You know, you need to know more than my girlfriend.
But I will say,
I don't think my girlfriend knows that Michael.
You
Jordan.
don't think she knows who Michael Jordan is?
No, she knows who Michael Jordan is,
But
but I'm
not
not
that he
sure
played
that
baseball, I'm
he played
sure.
baseball.
my
Do you want me
boyfriend
to call
was.
her?
Well, that's
Should we
kind of
do
the point of the joke,
Phone a
though.
friend on this.
My boyfriend was impressed that I knew he played baseball, and I was like, "Fuck, that wasn't what I meant for to happen here." You know,
Are
what
we
I mean? I
checking
was like,
it?
"I'm not that kind of girl."
Oh, hey Jen, you're on the air on my podcast.
Oh, hey, podcast.
Do you know who Michael Jordan is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can
The basketball player?
That actually,
yep.
it actually is kind of a hard question to phrase.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to think of the way to.
Like, did he do anything?
Do you know
else?
anything else about him? What do you know about him? Name
Did he do
everything
something-
you know.
Did he do something naughty?
No. You're not being quizzed on whether or not you're woke.
No. Did he do something bad?
No.
No. Well,
Oh.
maybe. That's not what we're
gambling
talking
problem.
about.
Can't rule it out, but
Did you know?
there's always human error. But
Okay. Did you know
Yeah,
that
Hitler
he
mustache.
played baseball?
Yes, I did actually.
Oh,
Oh,
But I would not have come up with that off the top of my head.
okay. Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
I just like having reasons to bring her in the
Yeah.
pot. People like it when she.
Ashley gets like adorable when Jen's in here. When Jen like does an episode, Ashley's like,
that's so cute. That's so cute.
Yeah, I am. Anyway, to end, we got so far away, but we like to trib. Do you know about tribbing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. She likes to put her butt on me and I can come that way.
Awesome.
Which
sorry,
is
that just sounded like the most 8th grade
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
in the
yeah. I
fucking
was just gonna say, like, a
world. I know
12-year-old boy.
I know it's like but it just she just put her butt on me and I come.
Like the first kid in your class who learns what sex is and like kind of gets it.
Oh yeah, I had sex.
Yeah, sex is when there's like a naked lady and she puts her butt on me and I come. Yeah, pretty much.
You didn't say I like grind on her. You said she just puts her butt on me.
Well,
Not
sometimes,
push
dude-
it. You like put your keys on the table. Like there's no like pressure in like putting something on.
Bro, sometimes it's that fast.
That rules. That's cool.
Whoa.
But she like usually her body is like really flat on my body. So we're like right here. And this time she kind of made like an angle. She like put her hands on the bed. So it was more like reverse cowgirl, if that kind of makes sense.
Like laying down reverse cowgirl on your side?
Like a 45-degree angle.
Or she's on top of you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I will say there's
is
not
it-
enough pressure if I'm not laying down on the bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes more
I
sense.
have
I got
to
you.
be
I
on
got
my
you.
back.
Yeah.
Cause then it would really be like a mirror. Like that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
No, so it was really like I could see her body. Like we weren't like face to face. And that was like the first time we had really ever done that. And it took like 2 seconds. And it was just a really great 24 hours.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That rocks.
So,
I love that.
yeah. And a beautiful mirroring because we started the day with me behind her and we ended the
Aw.
yeah. Yeah.
Full circle.
Very nice. Yeah. Full circle.
I love that.
Well, that's my gay sex. Listener, are you listening to our Patreon exclusive You're Having Gay Sex? Well, here's a sneak peek of what you missed last week.
I am in this club strutting my shit and dancing and unleashing my inner promiscuous gay Hispanic woman. Then I ran into a bachelorette party to which I started making out with the hottest one. And to my actual luck, it was the fucking soon-to-be bride.
It's always the bride.
It's always.
So I end up making out with this whole bachelorette party and 10 out of 10 experience. And I say, I need food. I'll be back. When the bride-to-be from earlier says she saw me walking the halls to the elevator on my floor and decided to follow me. Low-key weird, but I'm a raging lesbian with mommy issues. Of course I'm gonna go along with whatever this bilf bride I'd like to fuck that's also low-key a milf. And she started making out with me.
I'm glad they have a space to write this down.
And she started making out with me, and I nearly dropped my French onion dip. But turn around.
There are 4 bonus episodes a month of this series, You're Having Gay Sex, on our Patreon at the $10 tier and then 2 at the $5 tier. Patreon.com/WHGS. Have you had gay sex this week?
I haven't had it this week. I've had super straight sex this week, but I do have when Maddie talked to me about this podcast, I thought of a gay sex story that I've told you that doesn't involve any sex.
Let me also say you are a Maddie pick
yeah,
for the
yeah,
episode
yeah.
because
This is my best friend.
Oh,
This is my best friend.
oh, shut up,
she
dude.
just raves about you.
Oh my God, I'm
Lizzie's
obsessed with
and I
her.
know you
watch
that well. Lizzie's-
I know we know
Yeah,
of each other.
yeah.
But I really haven't seen much of your comedy, and I regret
Watch
that.
Lizzie's Don't Tell set. Like,
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Oh, when did that come out?
it's so fucking
in
good.
June.
Great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I told Maddie the story because when it happened, and I've never talked about it on stage, but you thought it was so funny.
Oh my God, I don't know what this is.
You will soon. Like last year, I did the thing where I met a person and we were both like,
Oh! Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
See?
It took so little. That was my impression of you when you'd see Jen's butt.
yeah. So Maddie came.
Got it. Done. Bye.
Okay, so I met someone on a dating app, and we both did the thing where we were like in love with each other.
Can I pause you
Yes,
for 1
please
second?
go. Yeah.
The reason I'm laughing so hard at this in particular is I'm so old and so disabled. I have like a physical problem that I like just anytime I stand up, sit down.
Sure. Yeah.
Jen calls them my old man sounds, and I would be lying that if I said I didn't make one when she does sit down on top of me. And I would not be surprised.
Oh my God.
I would not be surprised if that day when she plopped down, right, just
Oh, I
right
love
before.
that.
Oh my God, that's
keep
so
going.
Okay, so you remember this. So I met somebody on a dating app. I think it was Hinge. And it was like that thing where we met each other and 20 minutes into our first date, we were like, I'm in love with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah. So this was that. And so we had like this first date where we like went to a park and fell in love or whatever.
I'm so worried for the end of this story.
It's fine.
'Cause
It's
it's
just
not your
like,
boyfriend.
It's not my boyfriend. And boy, did we break up 3 weeks later. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, boy, did we
See,
break up and
that
both cry
part
in 3 weeks.
is not lesbian.
No.
Lesbian would be to take that shit for
Yeah.
6-7 years.
Yeah. This was
Move in at 3 weeks.
Yeah, this was a non-binary person.
Oh.
And me, who is something. Definitely a girl, but probably not straight. And so it was like queer, but not lesbian because we did break up. And I'll tell you what, sorry if this is fucked up to say, but they broke up with me in a way that was very male.
I don't think that's not fucked up at all. I think that's affirmational.
Yeah, well,
No,
they were born a man.
Oh, my bad.
This person would not be offended by me saying that.
Got it.
So we went on this date in the park, whatever. We were like, we have to hang out tomorrow. And the next day we went to a diner because we're both sober people. And the thing is, like, if you think lesbians move fast, fucking sober drug addicts are like, we're like drinking each other's blood and like coming in the open wound on like the second date because we're like insane people and love feels good and sex feels
it's a
good.
drug. It's a drug.
And we have nothing else. So like we always, sober addicts do this thing where they pretend they're not doing it. They're like, yeah, this is totally casual. And they're like foaming at the mouth, you know? So we were doing that.
It's a void filler.
Yeah,
for sure.
totally. And it's dopamine and it's like, and also when it's both of you, it's like you
Yes.
speak the same language.
Yes.
And you like,
you have something
know.
huge in common. There's a second
Yeah.
piece of it that's quite healthy, which is that we have this huge thing in common
Yes.
that's really important to both of us. But then there's the other part
The
of
other
it, which
part
is that
that's
you
like-
are now enabling
That's
each
like,
other.
you could be pills. you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so our second date, we like went to a diner and we were talking about, like they were like, do you like the beach? And I was like, yeah, but I like the beach when it's cold outside more. And then so the diner was closing and we were like, couldn't stop talking. And so it was like the middle of the night and they were like, do you want to go to the beach? And I was like, oh my God, what are you the coolest person ever?
Also, just a non-binary person being like, "You want to go to the beach in winter?"
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
feels so
Like New York and
Yeah.
hot and
You're like, well,
like,
yeah, that's because the only place your outfit makes sense. Yeah, you're wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt in February. I can tell that you want to go to the beach.
yeah, you're wearing a straw hat. So we went to the beach and we're like, you know, we're doing the thing where like we're holding hands in their pocket and we're like saying things to each other that's like, I've never told anyone this before. You know,
Whoa,
like that.
that is
like,
disgusting.
horrible, horribly disgusting, making out on the beach, blah, 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 whatever. It was like very romantic
What
and like
beach?
Brighton.
Okay, so you guys, did you travel?
Well, we were already
quite
in
a
like
ways?
South Brooklyn.
Okay.
So we got on the train and went to Brighton Beach, which was also like, we can just go to the beach. Why doesn't everyone do this all the time? You know, like there's a beach in our city and we never go there. Whatever. So it's like, yeah, it's the middle of the night. It's fucking cold. And so we go to the beach and it's like, whatever. And we're walking. I was like, okay, I'll take the train back to your stop with you. And then I'll call an Uber from your house. Cause I was like far from where I lived. So we're like walking and I'm doing this thing at the time where I'm not having sex right away with people that I like. Right. So I'm like in my head, I'm like, okay, I want to keep hanging out with this person, but I don't want to have sex with them. And I don't know how to explain to them that I can't have sex with them because I'm insane and I've been through a lot and I have like a bunch of emotional regulation disorders.
So funny to me because I did like kind of a similar thing.
Yeah.
And to me, it made so much sense to just be like, do you mind if we wait? Because I like you. I
Yeah.
think people do that. No?
It
Do people
does
not?
make sense. I just hadn't really ever done it before.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really know how to say this without giving you like maybe a scary amount of information. You know, like I didn't know how to be like, I ruined everything I've ever touched. Can we not have sex? So like I was trying to be like cool still. So I'm like in my head like, okay, how do I
It's also so funny to me that you didn't access the possible, not white lie version of it, but the version of it where you're like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like there's such an easily available.
That didn't even occur to me. Like, because like, I mean, everyone who's ever met me is like, so wait, I'm going to fuck you on the first date. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like,
I also
have
think
like
this
bangs and big boobs. I don't know. You know
I
what
was
I
about
mean?
to say, how slutty do you think you look? Because from the picture you're painting, your self-image is like a prostitute.
I know. Well, it's so weird because I like, no, because that's how people
A
look
sex
at
worker?
me.
Is that better?
Well, there is like there is like a
Maybe
weird.
it's because I have tattoos. You can't see them, but maybe it's like something like I have this disease where I dress so normal and everyone in my life is like, you're goth and a slut.
You do the goth thing. I get.
You're
And
like,
I'm not
cool.
dressed goth right now. But do you know what I mean?
you
It
are,
just
though.
You're
like,
almost wearing
Can
the
you
same
hold
pants.
up your sock for a second?
oh
and
yeah, there
tell
are
me that-
skeletons on my sock. I didn't get dressed for a shoes off situation. I left my black platform loafers at the door. But this to me is like normal-ish dressed. But even if I'm wearing like blue jeans and a t-shirt, people are like, you're
Anything
goth.
where you got metal, like kind of
I know,
stud.
I know.
You're playing. I hate to tell you this, but I think you might be goth.
Yeah, maybe.
You coming out as goth on the podcast?
Oh my God, I start crying. Oh my God, I've been goth the whole time.
It's the G. LG.
It's the G. It's to me, that's the G. No, but I don't know. I think like my experience, especially with men, has been like they think of me as a very sexual person and not.
I get that with the body thing.
I would say, I hope this isn't like
No, I have
you know,
like
when
huge tits,
and people just like over sexualize someone with like
Yes.
big boobs or like
Yeah.
a big. It's like it's not.
She can't do anything about that.
They don't.
Yeah.
You don't like earn points, and that's how they like. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no reason that it would like.
right?
Yeah.
Totally, but they
Like that
totally
happen with
think
like
that's
dress
what it
codes
is.
at school and stuff. Like curvy girls would get like dress coded way more than like skinny
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if you, it's like fucked up.
So it's like that kind of thing. And also like I am like a comedian that talks about sex on stage, but even when people don't know that, and you know, there's also something about being like a weird girl that people are like, so you're like I have like the nails and the tattoos. People are like, you're like a sex girl. So it didn't occur to me that I could just tell this person that I don't have sex on the second date. So I was like, what the fuck am I gonna? Because it also wasn't an option to stop hanging out because I was like, they became like crack to me. So I was like, well, I can't go home. That'd be crazy. But I don't want to have sex. How do I have this conversation? And I'm thinking about it. We're like, for the first time, we're like walking in silence and I'm thinking about this. And then they stopped walking and they turned to me and they were like, I really like you. I would like this to spend the night with you, but I don't want to have sex. Is that okay?
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God, we're meant to be together. We're soulmates, you know?
Yeah.
We're just drug addicts who are doing our best. All we are drug addicts whose therapists told them the same thing. That's it. But I was like, you read my mind. You're amazing.
You got good pieces of advice that you are now about to abuse.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And we're about to do something so much more intimate than have sex.
Yeah.
Because we went home and like
Talk
made
all
out,
night.
dry humped, and talked all night,
Yeah.
which is like, okay. And like we talked about like every, you know, like the things like we were talking about like spirituality and trauma and like, just fuck each other. And so like it'd be so much more chill if you fucked each other. So we like did all that.
That is
whatever.
funny that if you just had some quick bad sex, the whole thing would be done.
I'd take an Uber home, but instead we like soul bonded or whatever.
That's why it's so important to say, even though you are such a fucking virgin, that virginity is a spectrum. And
Yeah.
what is sex?
Right, because that was
'Cause, like-
more sex than sex. Then I
Yes.
had a lot of sex that wasn't sex the way that was.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why I thought of it when Maddie told me, like, it doesn't have to be an actual sex story. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, that was fucking sex, dude. But so
it also helps that they're non-binary. I
yeah.
will say.
Yeah. Well, definitely, because also, this is fucked up to say, sorry, but like, I do think that for like that night, that made me think that they were like deeper than if they were just a cis guy.
That's so
Because I was like,
funny.
I was like, oh,
you
you've
have
like
your finger
thought
on something.
I was
that's
like, you've
real,
like
though.
thought about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't just like go with the default. Like you've done enough introspection that you had to tell everyone in your life something about you. And so like that gives you points.
This is like bangs.
You know? Yeah, it's like bangs.
I don't mean
it's
that.
Like bangs.
I don't mean that. I don't mean
Being
that.
non-binary is the same as
funny.
having bangs.
Yes.
Oh, you know what's so funny about
Well,
me?
there are definitely a lot of people who think that having bangs is being non-binary.
Brother.
Definitely the
I was about to say, like, I didn't even get what was going on there for a second. Just like, because for me, like, I've met plenty of people that have nothing, but there's no depth at all as humans, but they had to come out and
totally. And so have I, but this was like,
oh, that's funny.
But this was like because of the whole everything.
actually,
No,
that's
yeah,
kind
that
of
really
how
does
you
make
know
sense.
it's not a choice.
yeah.
If your dumbest, most like shallow friend
Yeah.
is like
also doing it.
is like yeah.
But I think it was like the being sober plus being non-binary.
I don't know if you're
plus,
comfortable
That's like someone who's like really like worked on themselves and thought about themselves, and that's like
and you'd think that.
Yeah. Well, I will say I do think there is a type of Brooklyn person.
Thank you. Especially
There's a type of Brooklyn person
Me?
who has
no, not you.
Not you.
Oh.
You're the opposite of this.
You are clearly non-binary and won't land on it. What I'm talking
and gay,
about,
by the way.
I can't wait till we get to the next
I know.
portion where we bully Maddie.
really funny.
But there is they out there that has discovered.
I've dated all of them. I will say this with my whole chest.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that fucking TikTok of the people where they're like, "Hi, this is about non-binary dating. My name's Jax, and this is also Jax." And you're like, "Have you seen that video?"
No, well, I've seen like that type of video.
It was
are you
like,
talking about?
yeah,
That type
y'all
of
are a
video.
non-binary couple, but also on some level, I'm going to say this bluntly for the lack of better language, but like what's happening power dynamics wise is there is a 45-year-old male person
Yes.
and like a 19-year-old female person. Yes, that's the video.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate this.
Okay,
already.
24 and 29.
29. Okay.
Sorry, I guess old Jax just looks like shit.
Yeah.
So I thought old Jax was like 45.
I still think this is poo based on their general demeanor.
And even if we investigate and it's fine, that is annoying.
yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could be so fucking annoying if I wanted to, and people don't talk about
Yes.
it. If I whipped out,
I talk about that all the time about you.
oh,
You could be such a fucking like. You could be so fucking annoying online.
if I wanted to pull out the OCD fucking demi
Maddie?
boy, she they.
Thank you. Yes.
Bitch.
Yes.
you
this
could be
is-
like the final evolution of these people if you wanted to.
but
But instead, you do comedy.
Y'all are lucky that I Googled Jim
know what
Norton
this-
when I was 15 and now I'm not
Literally.
a TikTok influencer.
no. Yeah. Right? Do what the other mentally ill people do. Become
Have something
a
bad happen
stand-up-
to you and then write it down and tell people.
I figured out that I couldn't sing, so I wrote a joke because I didn't want to get a real job.
Right. Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is.
Wait, but this was a huge detour of
I do
this
have to tell you
person
the
is-
end of this story
seemed more
because-
interesting because they were
Because
non-binary.
also, like,
In the
if I
haze
don't
of
say the end
the
of the
moment.
story, it just sounds like I fell in love with a person who wasn't my boyfriend. So anyway, we like go back to their house. We don't have sex, but we do all this and blah 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 blah. And then at like 7 a.m. we decide to go to sleep. Right. So I'm like still in my jeans. We're going to bed. They're spooning me, and I'm like, wow, this is like the best date I've ever been on. You know, whatever. And then they do the thing where they like squeeze me. And I like held their hand or did some sort of physical contact to show that I was enjoying myself. And then, oh my God, I don't want to say this because it's so, okay. And then they like pulled me in and whispered in my ear and said, "Don't worry, I'm real." And everything changed.
Oh my.
It's literally the worst thing I've ever heard in my
Dude,
life.
I've never gotten the ick so fucking hard. So like it was like I cringed so hard I like felt my butthole and my brain touch. Like it was just like this thing that was like like in 1 second I thought we had this like connection and like we were falling in love.
Instant
and then
ick.
an instant ick, and in 1 second I realized I was like, oh my God, you're not having the same experience I'm having. You're having an experience of like, I'm fucking killing this.
Yes.
And that's so lame, dude. That's so gross.
Yeah.
And then anyway, I still dated them for like 2 months, but what are you going to do? I was like, but we went to the beach, you know?
That is, what did you say anything?
I was like, and then I went to sleep, you know?
You pretended, and you just pretended to be asleep. Like,
and then I
fully
just like absolutely shoved that down into like the pits of hell so that I could keep liking them too much.
Did that ego / arrogance come up again in the relationship?
That was the whole, that was the whole problem. Like the whole problem of the I mean, it was a relationship, even though it was so short because we got into one immediately. The whole problem was they had been in like a very long-term relationship and then met me immediately. And then their whole thing was like, they had gotten, and this is true, but they had gotten significantly hotter towards the end of their long-term relationship. So they had never really been like hot and single. And their whole thing was like, oh my God, I like you so much. I have not figured out if you're worth not fucking other people. And they would like say stuff like that to my face. And I'd be like, totally, take your time.
Oh my God.
Crazy. And this was like after them truly forcing my hand to break up with them. Like we had sex and we did something that we had anal sex, which is something that I only do if I'm in a relationship. Okay. But I was like, we're so close to being official or whatever. So I was like, yeah, whatever. You can fuck me in the ass. And you know, not my favorite, but they like it. So, and I like when someone enjoys something. So we did that. And then I was like, wow, that must mean that they really like me. So dumb. So dumb, dude. And then, of course, they were being like extra nice to me because I let them fuck me in the ass. So they were like, oh, you have a show in my neighborhood tonight? Why don't I come by and meet your friends? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you never want to meet my friends because you don't actually think of me as your partner. And so I was like, yeah, like come to the show, meet my friends. And they like walked me to the train and I got on the train and then I didn't hear from them for 3 days. Sorry, but that is boy behavior. And I mean, you fuck me in the ass and then don't call me? Come on. That's like, that is boy ass behavior, dude.
We here at the We're Having Gay Sex podcast 100% condone what was just said.
Like, I totally believe in and respect your gender identity, but you were acting like a boy that day, is what I'm saying. And so, so 3 days later, I called them, and I was like, yeah, like we need to talk, you know. And they like had me meet them at their office, and then I
sorry, shocks me that this person has an office. I never knew that. That's like,
well, it is just like their boss's apartment. That's their office. Listen, we love.
What non-binary person works at a rich person's apartment?
And anyway, the whole thing was like, I got there and I was like, so what's going on? And they were like, well, you called me to talk. And I was like, don't be a fucking. And we broke up. But the point, the part of the story I wanted to tell was the I'm real part, because that was like.
Bro, that's next level.
That was okay. Sorry, that was like gay as in lame, you know.
No, severe tree.
And sure. Like it was just so like, it really just like popped the bubble on this like connection I thought I was having. You know, like I really thought that I had like met my soulmate and spent the last 12 hours with them, and then they said that, and I was like, oh, we're like on a really different page right now.
Oh my God.
Also, to not make it about me, to not be like, I can't believe you're real.
Yes.
Yeah. But we do have to get to Maddie, because if we don't do some bullying of Maddie, I'm going to be really upset.
That's what I came here for.
Yeah. So did you have gay sex this week, Maddie?
No, I had an idea.
Fuck you.
But whatever.
An idea. Maddie, you've had enough ideas, okay? You're like one of the most prolific comedians I know. You can take a fucking break from having ideas and have sex with somebody.
But I had an idea about neurodivergence.
No. Fine.
I actually told Lizzy this one time we were hanging out.
Oh.
But it's kind of interesting. Well, because there's all this link, but these like, okay, so
I do like this idea.
So I was reading about ADHD because I recently got like officially diagnosed.
Have ADHD.
Because I really have it.
I was reading about ADHD and taking a break every 30 seconds to look at my phone.
Yeah, I was not doing my laundry and reading the entire
ADHD.
Wikipedia page for ADHD. But then there's all these links with like a lot of people. Like there's like a lot of people who have ADHD also have autism and also like
Yes.
and then also anecdotally are queer. Like I'm like, clearly there's a little kind of triangle there, which is funny to me because that feels like, oh, I was going to be straight, but I like forgot. You know what I mean? Like that's funny.
I
But
have a pet theory about that. I'm interested to hear yours.
well, so part of it, I don't know about like a broader macro level thing, but for me, I was like, oh, I wonder if part of the reason that growing up, I was always like, oh, I feel like I fit in with guys. I feel like masculine. I don't feel girly is because the things that I was told were girly were like, keeping house, doing laundry, cooking, cleaning,
being good at
like
domestic
things
labor.
and like the things that make you like a good woman. If you do have ADHD, you are like bad at being a capital W woman in like a in a patriarchal sense. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean because I'm like, I also have ADHD and I am so fucking bad at like at cooking, cleaning, whatever. Like I'm horrible at all that stuff. I'm like an outdoor cat. I'm bad at it.
I don't disagree with what you've set up here. I just want to make my viewpoint clear. I'm not disagreeing with this part.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've always been friends with boys. But that's just like annoying of me. But I am like I am like a very cisgender woman. Like I am a tomboy, but I'm a girl.
That's what I was gonna say. It feels like there's a history though of it feels like this woman has already been categorized as tomboy in a way that I think was accessible to you.
What I was
Well, I guess
going to
what I'm
say is
saying-
just, I think what you're saying is true. And also there might be another thing.
Some people
Yeah.
some people it's a tomboy, some people well, and I'm always kind of like tomboy, not but like
Yeah.
but like when I'm like, oh, I like forgot to do my laundry on time and drop it off and now it's too late, so now I'm putting on like jeans and an old t-shirt and deodorant. You're like, I'm a little rascal, and you're like, but when I have time to plan, I put on makeup.
But that's where I'm like, I just don't know if that's enough of an incentivization to be like, maybe I'm not a woman. Like I don't see the cis woman being like, where's my lip gloss and my gender? You know, like I can't see that.
Well, but because if you don't know that you have ADHD, and I'm not saying, I'm not queer at all. It was all ADHD. But I'm saying if you don't know you have ADHD, you're just looking at your life and being like, well, I am this way. So why is this how I'm comfortable being? But part of how I was comfortable being is because it's like,
Have you considered you just have a lot going on?
Yeah.
You're all of these things.
I think it is all of them. But this is a dimension of it that I hadn't considered.
Yes.
And then you're like, why are so many people... It's like you can be gay and you can have ADHD and you can be autistic, but why are you all of those things and why are you wearing cat ears? Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I have a
Like,
theory.
why do you have a profile picture
I have
that's
a
like a
pet theory.
fox standing up?
I have a
why
pet-
is that
I have
like
a very
category?
simple theory about this.
I have a pet theory about it too.
I have a very simple theory, which is like liberal parents get their kids diagnosed, and there's plenty of like not gay people or people who are gay that didn't feel safe to come out or whatever. There's plenty of like straight cis dudes who have ADHD and autism and also have a dad that's like, I don't believe in therapy.
Yeah.
So they don't know
that's
that they have
totally-
it. But like
That's
the people
genius.
whose
Yeah.
parents let them, you know what, I'm not saying it's not, the people whose parents let them wear cat ears and change their name and have blue hair are also letting them go to therapy.
Wow.
So they know that I think there's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think just a lot more people have ADHD
There's like that
and autism
documentary
that are diagnosed.
about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. There are some women on that team where you're like, wow, you clearly have probably autism.
Yeah.
But it codes so differently than
Right. Especially because if you're like
If
a
you-
Barbie doll girl.
If you are,
Yeah.
I see two sides of it. If you are more likely to go to seek out diagnosis about something,
Yeah.
that says a lot about the other things that you do in your life.
yes.
A lot of
Yeah.
self-investigation, a lot of
Yeah.
exploration,
And there's also like, I think in order to go seek out a diagnosis, there has to be like a desperate uncomfortability in your life. So there might be more than one thing going on. Because like for me to seek out a diagnosis for anything that's ever been wrong with me, I had to be so fucking uncomfortable.
I'll say this too, is I think it exists also on a big spectrum. If there's the straight guys with ADHD and autism that are being told just like push it down, that's not even a thing.
Just work
and
on
then
the
there
farm.
are the fucking two Jaxes using words to kind of actually like absolve themselves of some bad
Yes.
behavior. And the ideal thing is in the middle where like you don't feel shame around getting help for things you need, but you also do push yourself to overcome
There also
challenges.
is
and like we
accountability.
lose some of that on the left a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There are so many people that I see who are like, their parents are like, you can't do anything wrong. Everything that's ever happened to you that didn't go the way you wanted, you were like a victim of this circumstance.
Yes.
And that totally affects them in the rest of their life. And that's how they see the world. And then they like can't function. But like accountability is so fucking important.
It's so, I don't understand why they don't see my whole thing. Well, the other side of this coin, just so I can say it really quickly, when you have something that makes you an outsider in one category, you are way more likely to look at outsider things and think, am I that as well? Or
interesting.
How does this work? So you are doing an investigation that opens you up to these multiple categories that maybe a lot of people would be in if they were open to it.
And it also feels good to have like a name for the thing that makes you feel different.
Yeah.
So like if you come out and then you still feel different, maybe we'll find another name for maybe I'm also autistic. And then that feels good that has a name and now people understand that. So like you will keep investigating, and I don't mean that it's not real. I think it is real, but you'll keep investigating. It's 100% it, like you
real,
said.
but it does not have to be debilitating.
Exactly.
Yes. And there should be something really, really nice in what I mean. I am a person, not to be this guy. I've overcome a physical disability. I grew up with CPTSD. You have a lot going on too. You have maybe more than me, but. Like I was addicted to love. That's something I don't talk a lot about. Like when you said, "Oh, you could be my pills,"
yeah, totally.
But I didn't know that. I was like, "Oh, you are my pills."
Oh
because
yeah, I've been to an SLA meeting.
So like I've but overcoming those things rather than sitting in them was the biggest change in my life.
It's
realizing
so empowering.
that I know I can put a label on this now. I can look into it. I can read. I can go to doctors. I can meditate. I can sorry to sound like a dude, but take a cold shower.
No, yeah. It's very validating to understand like why you're suffering. It doesn't feel good to lean into being weak. And that's it sounds harsh when I say that because it's a dog whistle of like fucking Jordan Peterson will be like, oh, the victim mindset of like trans people. And you're like, no, that's like a real marginalized group that's suffering. But I'm saying like, I can know that I have like pretty crippling anxiety attacks. It doesn't feel good to be like, and just leave it at that.
And then leave
and
it.
A lot of people do. And it's like, no, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also it's like there is a certain type of person on the internet who uses every diagnosis that they've ever been given in a way that then to me becomes ableist. To be like, I can't go to the grocery store because I have this, and people who have this can't go to the grocery store. It's like, no, they can.
It's also fucked up for people who are like, oh, I'm actually like bedbound. Like,
but it's also like fucked up for people who are like you said, like, no, I've actually worked really hard to be able to go to the grocery store.
Wow.
So for you to say that everyone who has that fucking can't is like so insulting to the people that are like doing their fucking best every day and living with this thing and aren't in a position where they can have special accommodations and they go to fucking work anyway.
And it makes it a competition where it's like to be seen as legitimate in that community, you need to be like suffering the most.
Yes.
And so then you seek out like, oh, I can't do this either. When it's like, no, the goal is to like learn about this so that you can do as much as you possisly can.
Yes.
Yeah. It's that
Sorry,
weird.
I would cut you off.
No,
that's exactly right.
You're and it's this double-edged thing with my thing. I feel like, I really don't have it so bad. So can I talk about this?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just sort of like, or now it was really bad for a little while, but now it's not. And anyway,
I feel like the best way I've heard it put, which shockingly on a Tumblr post, but was like, it was like when someone tells someone with a depression, like, oh, just go on a jog. That's bullshit. That's not going to fix your depression. However, you should go on a jog because it will help.
Yes. Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, don't tell me to just jog. Fuck all of that. I'm going to say, it's like, it's not, whatever.
It's sort of like being able to lean in and be like, I know you're going through a lot. Are you making sure that you're exercising? Like,
right.
It's not going to fix it, but it might help you get to the next level.
Yeah. And it's also like, I think a lot of
having
people,
empathy.
A lot of people will take that as like a personal attack. Like you're saying that they're not doing enough to deal with their situation. It's like, no, I love you. I said that because I said you should go for a walk because I love you and you haven't gotten out of bed in 3 days and that really fucking bums me out. And it's not me saying that you're not good enough. You know what I mean? I just know that it would help and I'm trying to help you.
And it can be so hard to get out of bed.
Yeah.
You know, like that you can acknowledge that and say like, try and tackle it.
Totally. Yeah.
we should probably wrap up. But what do you want to plug? Your 2 podcasts?
I have 2 podcasts called Respectfully and Close Calls. Everything is on my Instagram, which is at Lizzy Cassidy, Lizzy with a Y at the end. And you can watch my I have a Don't Tell set on YouTube, and I have a cracked comedy set on YouTube as well.
And you were phenomenal.
Oh, thanks.
Man,
This was so fun. Thanks for having me.
Great.
I'm gonna say something.
Episode.
I have never seen someone riff on Maddie's level.
Oh, thank you. That's really the kind of the highest compliment someone could ever get.
I don't think
Stop,
there is
that's
a better
crazy.
compliment
That's
than
really
saying you're a
nice.
Maddie Wiener level riffer.
Oh my God. If I could just spend the rest of my life pretending to be Maddie Wiener because we kind of look alike, I would.
We're kind of saying, guy, I love you so much.
I just want to show up to places and be like, I'm actually Maddie Wiener. Because I'm so obsessed with her. So thank you.
So, and anything you want to plug?
Oh, thanks. At Maddie T Wiener on Instagram, and my Punch Up Live link is in my bio. I have dates coming up in like Houston, Toronto,
Amazing.
Portland, Corvallis, Seattle.
You're out there, Maddie.
We're doing it. We're on tour. So come to a show, sign up for my mailing list so I can let you know when I'm in your city. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you know my thing. Thanks for listening, guys. Patreon.com/WHGS to get a full half hour of bonus out of this episode, plus another bonus episode with Lizzy and Maddie. And then, as always, sign up to get a text from me when I'm in your city. I've been seeing a lot of people, maybe new listeners, some new listeners trickling in, and maybe tell a friend. Maybe say, nah, actually, the internet's not right. The pod is really good. And then a gay thought.
I have a joke that's essentially along the lines of non-binary dating.
Okay.
If you want me to tell it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Sure.
That's Alex, everybody. This is who the Patreon pays.
All right. Gay thought. It's I live in New York.
Hold the tits.
It's like this.
Yeah.
I live in New York.
That's upside down. Flip it around. Thank you.
I live in New York. It's a very open-minded place, you know. I recently went on a date with an otherkin. This is a person who identifies as something non-human, like an animal, which, believe it or not, is a lot easier to explain than I fucked a dog.
I think the non-binary community is going to be so mad at you for comparing them to otherkin.
Well, it's not a traditional gender. Is it not?
Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's
because
not
thank you for throwing my tits.
It's not the binary.
It's certainly not the binary.
Well, boom. Non-binary
think-
allies.
I
Come.
think you can be a cisgendered otherkin, though.
Sure.
And I think you can also be a trans male fox.
NB otherkin. I want you to sick Ashley.
Listener, write
Sick 'em.
in. Did we just offend a very small community? Or could you help us understand this so that
Yes.
we can be better and learn and grow? Thoughts and prayers.